Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Cannot complain. Okay, so this is correct. It's like so correct that we kind of have to do it even if we're not tryharding, because these are not it. Why not ranked? There's more opponent variety on unranked right now. Usually spend the last couple days of the patch just building up ranked tickets. More fun to play ranked earlier in the patch. You generally get better rate on unranked. Costs nothing to play, but you get 100 for 10 winning. Versus ranked, where you basically pay 100 to enter and get 150-ish. So it's like plus 50 for 10 wins instead of plus 100. And when you want to try to play some spicier builds, better to not have an entry fee associated with the run. Feels a lot less bad when you lose. I think the average is like 140. Go here? Yeah, please. I've been pretty reserved about like making balance complaints. Dooley's probably the best a character has been. When does the season end? I don't know. I don't know. I imagine they're doing a ladder reset when it goes to open beta.
Pathetic. As spineless as a jellyfish.
Genuinely don't want to complain about balance, but it feels like if you see a dually, you assume it's a loss and move on. I wouldn't go that far. I think people are still not great at building the dually boards, but I do assume that if someone is properly building a dually board, that I will lose to them. Monitor Lizard is literally pufferfish? No, Monitor Lizard is pre-buff pufferfish. There's a big difference between pre-buff pufferfish and the pufferfish they had to disable. Lizard's not even like the egregious dually item. It's the gamma ray scaling that makes Monitor Lizard so crazy right now. And like the omega ray scaling that makes burn scaling so crazy. How to build dually properly. You play beta ray, a damage ray, 1 or 2 damage items, and then just a bunch of good support items. Cool LEDs is a great item. Coolant can be a good item. Metronome.
Come with no weapons, leave with big bargains.
Yeah, people are complaining about the thing that kills them, but the thing that kills them isn't the thing that's strong about dually. He's got the best access to slow, the best access to freeze, the best access to ramping damage. Probably the best access to haste.
Your aura guided me to what you needed.
So just oppressive early mid. I shouldn't sell both of these. I should save that. I also should have not had this next to it when I sold that. Whoops.
But I've seen my share of storms. My fight isn't with you. But if you
I feel like everything Dually does is pretty oppressive early mid. Like, Lizard day 1 is whatever. And then, like, Omega Ray day 2 with burn items also feels really brutal. Any Ignition Core board is terrifying to run into.
bring her about, I've got another salvo in me.
Yeah, when I say Dually has the best access to haste, it's really just, like, Metronome and the busted
Waiting
skills.
to be filled.
Like, he makes the best use out of left-handed. And the skill that's 4 seconds of haste when you use the core is just absurd. And it is good timing for the income. I guess we can take it. It's not like bronze loot's that exciting.
Everyone here is huge. It's terrifying.
Haste. I'll play these. Throw Coral Armor on the board for now.
I only sell things so I can buy things. Huge things. Okay, now sell me something.
Oh, the scaling got nerfed. Speed of the scaling is what's insane. Yeah. The beta ray buff was insane. I don't know what the reasoning behind that buff was. Preferred core. You can play it with really any core. It's probably best with Ignition Core. The Poison one with Companion Core is good. It's not that hard to find the pieces. You can also play Microdave with Companion Core. The core gets to play a couple extra utility items. The core makes better use of coolant.
Was that even a battle? Maybe a skirmish?
Oh, yeah. We're gaming. I still need the second XP. I'm gonna take that now.
You've just taken the first step toward good taste. Remember, diamonds come in small boxes. Tell everyone you got it.
I'm gonna drop into get nerfed. No, but the drop rate on it's a lot lower than I thought, so it's not as big of a deal. It's still busted when you get it, but you almost never get it. This is my second time getting it this whole patch, and I take that fight every time it's offered.
Ah, place to store the rest of the tyrant's gold.
Always taking the loot here. I guess it's Sharpening Stone. Getting better Van than Pig Dispatch. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the shield version. I don't know if you can get the shield version. I've never seen a player with it, and I've never gotten it. It's a lot worse, for sure. Especially with so many builds caring about poison. You don't really want to all-in on shields.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago. We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobody.
I think that's close. What are the day 3 ones? The day 2 one just isn't worth fighting. Like, the weaker fights just have such better drops. You can take Scrap or Aetherite, or
All
Scout Troop or Aetherite
no ball.
an okay amount of the time.
Defeat does
skill.
not
Every
defeat
time you
me.
sell a small item, all of your weapons get 1 extra damage forever. No, small item. It is significantly better than that. Gumballs is plus 10 damage forever. Yep, it is that busted. I stash Gumballer and not a board Gumballer. Because when I take something off my board, I have to put it back on the board after. I'd rather just open the stash twice than fiddle around with the board. There's a lot more mental effort that goes into fiddling around with the board than just pressing the stash.
I've got a lot of work to do, but this'll be fun.
Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna blame being distracted by chat.
Whew, seeing spots here.
It's over already. We barely got.
Nah,
the
they
guys
care.
out.
There was a Reddit write-up explaining that it matters. I don't know the exact reasoning behind it mattering, but I think it has something to do with how the values get snapshotted.
Another empty chest, waiting to be filled.
Okay. Let me go here. I can actually play Thunderer.
Hooey! Now that's a bargain.
Didn't I upgrade the silencer? I don't think I'm playing the silencer for much longer. I do want to have multiple weapons in play with augmented weaponry. And if it's just temporary, then we'd rather take the loot items, because the loot items are 3 damage forever, in addition to their other bonuses. There we go.
That's been sitting there 20 years, waiting for you.
Gonna be buying this. This is whatever. I want Shadowed Cloak. Cloak fills the board.
Trash is tragedy. Reuse everything.
So, firstly, self-edit the longest CD. Oh, yeah, that could matter too. That could matter. If taking out Silencer matters, then that probably matters.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Are you sure? Have you noticed I'm huge?
Positive game balance select, the CDR management is sort of fun. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't like how arcane it is.
Well, I'll admit, that was impressive.
Like, it's not intuitive that Bracer works the way that it does.
Bravery without strength is a sword
And
with
you can't really see... It's not transparent that the opponent has done it either. So it's not something that you learn by just playing the game. Because you never see the Bracer on their board, you just see that the opponent has lower cooldowns, and you have no idea why. There's like nothing to even indicate that it's because of Bracer shenanigans. Silencer on Treb, not better than having Jelly. Well, I'm playing multiple weapons, and Jelly is 2 seconds of cooldown every cycle, while this is 0.6. I'm just selling that one. Yeah, in general, I like that there's reasons to hold on to the CDR things to try to spike a Bracer, or if you're really lucky, a Necronomicon. I think that gameplay is kind of cool. Though I feel like if it's going to exist, it would be nice if it was more clear somehow that it worked the way that it does.
gunpowder.
So I'm going to definitely stay on the skill. Yes, the skill is completely busted.
Ah, place to store the rest of the tyrant's gold.
It was reworked. Yeah, it used to be... It buffed a random single item on your board by 2, and now it is everything by 1 forever. It's insane. That's what I said when I read the patch notes. Yep. Yeah, I heard him say that. So knee brace might not need the CD increase. The slot taking might be bad enough. You see, that's... I get what he's saying. It's just... The reason knee brace is good... Knee brace could not have the top text, and it would be just as good as it is now. Like, the bottom text is the reason you buy knee brace. So, like, saying that it's not necessary is like, yeah, of course, but that's the powerful effect on it. Like, you're not nerfing it by removing that.
You don't have time not to buy this.
Oh boy.
Ooh, the keener the blade, the quicker the fight.
What's it if you get it day one? Yeah, yeah. A big part of it being good day one, though, is again, like, you don't actually have to put it on your board. It's just when you don't get the 2 XP on day one and you're leveling on the player fight, you don't need to play it to get the 100 HP. Like, the bottom text is either not a significant drawback or the reason that you're buying the item.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
Remember they made skills this patch? Yeah, I don't know how much of it is they actually made skills rarer. Because, like, you had games before where it was hard to find your skills. I'm still not sure. I don't know. Skills might be rare.
I paint my ship red.
It wasn't in the patch notes, right? But it's just so hard to tell. So use the swap of swap. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, like, if you level up in the player fight, you can put the knee brace before you pick your reward, and you get the 100 HP at the start of day. It's just weird that every use of knee brace feels like an exploit. Why is increasing the cooldown of your weapons good? Because you're decreasing a larger number when you're selling the percent CDR items. The percent CDR will look at the extra second when calculating how much 2% is. Also, we just keep getting them. They just keep coming. Yeah, so, like, it's 6.2 now. When we take this off the board, it'll now be 5.2. Whereas if we didn't have the knee brace on the board, I think it would have gone to, like, 5.4 or something. CDR is cooldown reduction. If I didn't have augmented weaponry, I think I would have taken the skills. But I like augmented weaponry.
Well, aren't you a lovely piece of prey?
Monster loot's disgusting. It's definitely disgusting when you keep hitting CDR. It's pretty filthy when you keep hitting.
The mouse bites back.
See that plank? Walk it.
Like, there are a lot of ways to think about influencing your board. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing that I don't like about the knee brace stuff is just how not face up any of the things that it's doing are. It's not obvious that you can do the things that it does, and it is not clear. Like, you can't learn from your opponents that those things are happening, because the knee brace is just always in their bag. Gold for gold chocolate. Why not? Correct. Puffer does not exist right now. It got removed in the hotfix.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago. fall like
The
a
PvE fight with
boulder.
Puffer shouldn't be active. You can only get it from the fight a random enemy encounter. And yes, it will still drop it if you fight it. But they did also disable the fight that had a Puffer. Spare change? What am I even doing? I'm just... I don't think this board beats Lich. This board is really scuffed. We've got 73 flat damage on our augmented weaponry, but we're not really doing anything with it yet. Nice, Lizard in? Because Lizard didn't get buffed this patch. Puffer did.
Pathetic. As spineless as a jellyfish.
Puffer was going infinite at 0 seconds with everything. There was like a million different ways that you could get an infinite Puffer at 0 seconds. Lizard applies a lot of poison, but it's not even like clearly Dooley's most powerful thing to be doing. It's a lot more work to make it work.
You see landfill, I see buried treasure.
Upgrade Sunderer. Sick.
Haha. Now this will inspire the crew.
I guess we cycle the knee brace.
While you're doing your part to clean up the bazaar, warms my rusty circuits to see that find a home.
It was buffed for Puffer. They made it a cooldown instead of a when it's activated.
While you're doing your part to clean up the bazaar,
Oh yeah, it was also given the ability to crit. That was one of the things that they were trying to do.
trash is tragedy. Reuse everything. Hooey! Now that's a bargain.
I don't get anything for cycling this one. Whoops. Max health when you sell swap knee braces? No, I get extra damage when I sell. So I'll buff
That's
this
been
too,
sitting
why
there
not?
20 years, waiting for you.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
There
I think introducing large items to the starting pool was probably counterproductive to their goals, but I don't think it's worse than it was before. If anything, it's just as bad as it was before.
You move in
Maybe slightly
straight
better.
lines.
Like, I think now there's more, like, really awful starts, but the ceiling on starts is a bit lower than it was before. Like, you're not getting lighter and plus 12 burn, plus 8 burn on day 1 anymore. But there are a lot more boards that just, like, straight up can't kill the opponent than there were before as well. I do really need items. Like, this can't be my board forever.
Experience is treasure. I shall.
Yeah, I think the early game feels better to play than it did pre-patch. Even if there is still a lot of variance.
A blade can
At least the variance now isn't, like, immediately punished by, like, taking a weapon and then not getting weapon skills, or taking a burn item and then not getting burn skills. Like, those starts just felt miserable. Do I believe? I don't think I should, but I'm going to. Maybe it's okay.
featherless worm.
Bronze core is 6 burn every 7? It's 6 burn every 6. Used to take rightmost plus 8. Silver lighter, pop snipers, cannon. That was it for the first 3 days. I mean, I think the ceiling on Ignition Core it's probably a bit lower than it was, but they also buffed the floor a bit, right? Didn't it used to be 4 damage instead of 6?
We have no white flag. I burned it.
Waste of gunpowder.
And the difference between a 7 and 6 second cooldown core is pretty big. I'm never using this, right? We're all about haste, not slow. This is damage! I gotta try to get Captain's Wheel, though.
Sale, no sale. I want what's right for you. Just toss that on my back, and I'll trot it to your door.
$100 damage.
Oh, I think you're really gonna enjoy that.
Variance went up in general, powerful level up rewards, and how shots work. I don't know, maybe. I'm not too sure either way. You could convince me either way. I think day 1 variance is maybe slightly better. Slightly. Hasting the wrong thing? Oh, yeah, probably.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely not trying to say that like Ignition Core is bad now. I do still think that Ignition Core is the best start on the best hero,
All
but
cannon, no ball.
it's more like on Vanessa, where like you took a burn item and then didn't get the burn skill. It felt awful. You took a weapon that really needed to hit a skill and don't get a good damage skill. That also felt awful. Is it bad that I just want to take this for 2 damage on everything? Can add more ammo to the musket? Oh. Yeah, I could. It might matter. It probably doesn't matter, but I guess if this gets frozen. I'm a big dually player, so maybe you don't experience it from the playing side enough to matter, but your personal anecdotal experience with this patch is that day 1 item skill combo no longer defines the run win percentage anywhere near as much. Well, there is no skill to combine with. I do think starting item is still really high variance. I think Pig is the most egregious, but getting any large item on Vanessa is also kind of nuts. Like, the games that you start with a silver treb are very different than the games you start with anything else. Or, like, starting with a silver cove. But at least you know that variance is there when you're clicking your starting item, rather than, like, I'm going to pick a lighter, hope that I get one of the 2 or 3 burn skills in the pool, and if I miss, then I'm very sad. It feels better now than it did before. Even if the variance overall is still high, if that makes sense. And obviously Pig starting with Bob or Regal Blade is going to have a much easier time than an average Pig start. One thing you know with Dooley is he has so many options that most players you go against seem to have built some optimal boards. Yeah. For sure. More CDR. CDR is really funny. I don't want to make the musket faster. I'm only burning for this. I guess I have a little haste too.
It's over already. We barely got our flags up.
How many CDR items have we gotten this run?
My lessons are painful.
They just keep coming.
The bazaar is filled with cleaners. It is paradise.
Scaling.
Makes Ryukon look bad.
Go ahead. Underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Ooh. Start my game.
You fall like a boulder. I flow.
Things are definitely starting to slow down a bit. Hello, new to the stream. Trying to learn about the game bit by bit. You're wondering about Vanessa's other items that aren't weapons, like armor and healing. When are those viable for her? Are they considered suboptimal lower tier? Or are they misunderstood? The problem with defensive comps right now is that if you try to build too defensive, you're just going to get run over by all the ramping damage. Like, poison is increasing damage over time. Like, not only does poison accumulate, but the amount of poison that is being applied per tick is also going up. Or the amount of burn going up increases as the fight goes on. And it's just really hard for defensive comps to keep up with that. Usually you're playing, like, 1 or 2 defensive items. Like, I think Dock Lines is a really good Vanessa item. One of her best. Yeah, the 4-second slow. It's not great at bronze, but when you get it to gold, it slows 3 things for 4 seconds every 4 seconds. And because it's an aquatic, it's easy to get a taste. So it's pretty easy for a Dock Lines to slow the opponent's entire board. It's about raise. The dually items. They make all the poison or burn items do more poison or burn when they trigger. They just make it impossible to play defensive builds right now. Unless you also have a good clock. Oh, yeah. They're not great. They're not great. I could have fished for Big Ego here. That might have been better. Yeah, the skill is bonkers. I think they made it significantly more rare. But, yeah, it's absurd.
Pathetic. As spineless as a jellyfish.
No, not necessarily. When I'm tryharding on Vanessa, I've been playing, like, Dock Lines, something that gives my board haste, and usually trying to stack damage on a trebuchet, and using this to kill the opponent while all their stuff is slowed. This board is just burst, 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 because I have a bunch of flat damage, but usually you don't have this much flat damage.
I would never debase my wares by haggling. Ugh. You're a smart one
Cycle out.
for your size.
Cycle
I think
ease
that
for
suits
damage.
you beautifully.
Or burn here. I could also upgrade Sunderer.
Ooh, the keener the blade, the quicker the
This is on my
fight.
board forever, right? It's just 3.2 seconds.
My
Maybe we
bad
find something
days are
better.
over, but my weapons crave
How was
more.
that better? That's probably better.
Nufo teaches stillness. I prefer action.
So it doesn't speed up the trebuchet. This speeds up the treb. That might have been bad. I don't know.
Enjoy the thrill of battle.
Usually sniper rifle is gonna have a hard time into people buying max HP. You gotta get the sniper rifle to diamond, and even when it's at diamond, you need some flat damage to make sure you're one-shotting people. And if you're not one-shotting people, you're probably just too slow.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun. We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
Bonk.
You've got talent. You should put it toward nobler use. Bravery without strength is a sword without a blade.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend sniper rifle. If you want to play single weapon, I think flagship is still probably the best option. But it is harder to get flat damage than it was before. But at least you don't need to upgrade flagship. Submarine's okay too. Maybe. I've never had good success with submarine. Forgot what the 2x sword is called. Oh, cutlass? You can. You can. I think it's on the weaker side. Submarine is such a mid item? No, I think it's a large item. So I'm gonna use bayonet, the katana. I think I just want more things on my board that activate, because when they activate it makes the trebuchet faster.
Work for me.
Like, the bayonet's an extra 100 damage on the katana, but it's not making this any faster. Okay, isn't a hard bar to cross in my mind? Yeah, for me, like, the best thing Vanessa can do right now is okay. Or at least the best thing you can do without augmented weaponry is okay. Augmented weaponry is pretty sick. Using shield is relevant too, to get into zero shield, burn ticks for full damage. Yeah, yeah.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
Deadly Bob! God damn. Best item in the game,
Landmass
haste
makes you
potion. No.
predictable. You move in straight lines.
It's probably Beta Ray. It's probably not very close. I think, like, the 5 best items in the game are all dueling items.
Lithic markets, just trade boulders. This is more fun.
Not trebuchet.
I will be there long after you are gone, and so will I.
This dueling item is a pig item, though. Matchbox. Not wrong. Matchbox is pretty crazy. Oh my god. This board is so much worse when Katana gets deleted. Fox over Beta Ray. No, but you'd probably play both. They play pretty well with each other. I have run Beta Ray and Pig. Like, Beta Ray was one of Dooley's best items before they buffed the other Rays to also be the best damage items in the game. How? Why? Because it's like 3 or 4 seconds of slow on a 6-second cooldown, of freeze on a 6-second cooldown. In Pig, yes. The item has a 6-second cooldown, and it freezes an item for 3 or 4 seconds, depending on rarity. Obviously, you're not playing like a bronze one or a silver one, but if you get a gold or diamond one off Bazaar, it's pretty easy to justify playing it. Exile, good. Yeah.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Yes, like, even if this crit us, it doesn't kill us. That's the problem the sniper rifle has.
No, all of this is just training.
Oh, wait, that's the end of the run? No, I wasn't done yet. I was still scaling. Okay. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. When we get back, we will play some more. Hope you guys stick around. Could have been any other weapon. The musket, yeah. The guaranteed crits are kind of nice. I don't know. It's not like everything had crit chance.